I am to see what we see today as far as picks and draft goes?
Yeah, of course. I just don't think it's gonna be like I don't think these teams are the ones that are already starting with the like new heroes like Parallax, but they're definitely gonna catch up on the new changes.
It's again here we're looking at the draft for our first series, and we're already witnessing it. Let's start with the initial bans here first. Now I do want to point out we were trolling a little bit initially too, but the teams did agree to ban Zephyr. To say the least, Zephyr got a lot of attention with this match, and again I'll go back to him and I called it. I called it in the previous cast here going into the match that he was going to be a big deal. Yeah, he's a pretty big deal. So the teams have agreed to actually just auto ban him. It's up to the teams if they want to do something like that. So they did agree on that. So you technically have him on top of Warbeast, Tremble, Clanks, and Midas. The picks go Magnus into Andromeda, Tempest into Deadwood, and Pearl into Legionnaire. I've said from the beginning, too, of this patch, Pearl is going to be a top-tier support now, in my opinion. So I'm so excited to see her here. Then we got the following picks. Eve. What do you think of these picks so far, though, Scurry?
I can't actually connect to the game, so
Oh.
hard to comment on that.
Well, so wait, you're having trouble actually getting into the game?
Yeah, it says no response from server, so
That is curious. It looks like you're connecting now. Yeah, you weren't connecting before, so hopefully it
yeah,
actually
now
does
it
go
works.
through. Okay, good. Well, I mean, so let's talk about a specific here. Let's talk about Deadwood first. Deadwood, again, got some changes. He was second picked by Evo Corporation here. Does that surprise you, or do you think this new Deadwood's actually really strong?
Nah, it's really just the new Deadwood. It's super strong. It's just the overall changes and the 35% strength she gains now. It's so strong. And yeah, I think that was one of the few heroes that actually came to my mind. One of the old heroes that's gonna get picked up more now. And yeah, really like it so far.
Well, again, we see it here on the side of Evo Corporation. The other interesting pick, though, as I was pointing out, I'm a huge fan of this hero. I think she deserves to be more of a top plate support now because of these changes, especially Pearl on the Legion side. What are your thoughts on Pearl?
Well, I personally am a huge fan of Pearl already before the change. And yeah, I'm just really excited to see that she even got more power now. And the ult is just so damn strong now. It's just, yeah, it goes through BKB, so you save your team either way. So yeah, really excited about the pick. And I think it works really fine with the lineup they have, with the Prisoner Magnus and Oogie, forcing the enemy team to go closer and into the bubble.
Yeah. Now, her ultimate, it's good for a couple of purposes. Not only is it a nice pushback ability, it does the health regen when anyone inside it, which is nice. It does prevent ranged auto attacks from coming in, ranged projectile. But you look at this Hellborn team, and they're pretty melee heavy right now. So in that sense, maybe it's not a huge deal. But Bushwhack is going to be the final pick, with that said, for Evo Corporation. That'll be their carry of choice. I don't think Bushwhack actually got any changes here in this last patch. This is just simply them liking the Bushwhack here. So now that the drafts have finished, what do you think overall here, Scurry?
Mm, I actually like that the Legion team is kind of addressing the Oogie already. With the Deadwood, it's really good counter, and the Bushwhack, because Bushwhack can easily kite Oogie. But yeah, I feel like if Pearl does really good work and forcing the enemy team to go into the bubble, then yeah, Legion team is gonna have a really good time.
Yeah. All right, so fans of complexity here. Now, obviously, as far as complexity is concerned, this is a team that won Cycle 1, of course. So here they are in Cycle 2 trying to repeat that, and we'll see if they are able to complete that. Again, they did have to start in the losers bracket last time. Man, we are on some issues to kick it off here. I'm actually having a lock camera issue, so give me a second here as I'm trying to figure this out. It's always, man, it's always something else that I have to mess with to get this to freaking work. There we go. Okay. Looks like we're good now. Anyways, so yeah, we got complexity on the Legion side again. They're Cycle 1 champions. They're trying to do the run once again, all the way through the losers bracket to the grand finals and take it all. And a tough challenge, though, here against Evo Corporation, who ended up finishing third place, of course. That's why they're here, matched up against complexity. Of course, they are also playing with a new fifth Masera, announcing after Cycle 1 that no longer playing. Embry has stepped in as their fifth and playing the Deadwood here for them. So, but yeah, so it sounds like you're leaning a little bit more towards the Legion side. I mean, what about the jungle presence, too? Obviously, jungle did get buffed in general with how the creeps. Now you don't need to pull them out. And do you think it actually really was a significant, like, was it a massive buff, or was it really like it's good, but it's nothing over the top?
Well, I personally think it's like a really strong kind of buff to heroes like Legionnaire. So yeah, I mean, it's just so that there is like a gold cap in the woods where you reach the gold cap if you clear all camps within 1 minute, and that is like easier to reach now. Like you can easier reach that gold cap than before. So heroes like Legionnaire that farm like really fast in the woods and are able to take those like the entire woods in 1 minute get a lot more than heroes like Tempest that are kind of only focused on like 2 or 3 camps.
Interesting. And, you know, I think, speaking of the Zephyr, again, they got auto-banned by both of these teams here in this game. He's obviously feeling those changes as well, on top of just the buffs that he got there. So, just real quickly on that, Squirry, what do you think about the teams just choosing to auto-ban a hero? Do you think that actually makes it, or would you rather not seen that? Or
Well, as I'm casting, I don't really like to see it. I would have enjoyed watching Zephyr here, but I mean, as a player, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, they didn't know really what the deal was with Zephyr. So, yeah. And it's really just super strong.
It is.
So, yeah.
It's very strong. All right, so Pearl, again, being played by Love here, the support player for Complexity, of course, and seems like he's boxing out Lodestone pretty well. It seems like Pearl, in general, would be a pretty good boxing out hero, as we're seeing here, so Lodestone, I'm sure, going to have some issues. Oogie off to the great start. But Zane, you know, at the same time, do you think actually Lodestone may have an okay time here, or do you expect it to be pretty locked out?
He's already got lane control, so he's definitely going to pick up some farm here. But yeah, I think he's going to do fine here. I don't think Pearl or Oogie can kill him. So, yeah.
Going to be good there. Pearl, the other interesting thing, again, that amongst just buffs in general, her Q now, of course, you can target allies and purge off debuffs on them, not including stuns, to clarify. That's something that kind of caught me off guard initially, to be honest. I was really looking forward to that change, and I tried to use it against some stuns that happened when I first played her, and it wasn't removing it, and then I realized, oh, well, so it's not actually stuns, it's just more so debuffs, like dot damage or slows or things like that. As, by the way, middle lane, what a hook right there on a Deadwood, just maximum range. Out comes the Asphyxia. That's going to slow him down, if anything. It's not going to be enough, though, it looks like. Deadwood's able to tank it here, unless they're still chasing. But no, he makes a getaway, so no, not enough damage.
Yeah, Pearl just doesn't have the lockdown to really... Yeah, I don't see it working very well in a dual lane here, man. Just doesn't have any synergy with the prisoner.
That's what I was saying. So yeah, what do you think? So sending Pearl mid, do you still think it's worth it, or does it just not make any sense? You'd rather see her bottom?
Well, I don't think Oogie can 1v1 Lodestone either, because Lodestone is just a great harassment hero. But yeah, I don't like the decision at all.
Okay.
I think she should just stay bottom.
Well, for the time being, she's, obviously that's another thing that we are seeing in play is the new courier system, of course, and how no longer the individual or no longer the one courier for the team that you get and you share. It's everyone gets their own now, and they happen to be invulnerable. So that's definitely already kind of interesting witnessing that as being a spectator. We see 3 couriers on the Legion side flying around. Gonna have to get used to that with the mini map. Well, what do we think? What you got right here? It looks like he goes a refreshing ornament first. Gonna be getting an early astrolabe, so makes sense to you?
Yeah, definitely. They really want to pressure the bottom towers as early as they can, so they don't open up the space for Imbaboy to form their engines. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a really good thing to do for them.
What was that creep farm looking for? Let's take a look at the bottom one. Well, let's do the top lane. I mean, we really haven't mentioned too much about Bushwhack up here yet, but Bushwhack 28 and 11, so Imma Boy to say the least, having a very good time. Magnus only level 2 still. He is, well, having a slightly difficult time. No creep kills, just at level 3 right there at least, but definitely behind that lodestone. Bushwhack, you think this Legion team should be a little worried about Bushwhack getting out of hand here?
I mean, they have a lot of lockdown, and the Prisoner Shackle is really good against Bushwhack. So, I don't know. But what's surprising me is that Imma Boy actually went 3 into his Q. The crippling dart. I think you don't usually see that on the farming Bushwhack.
What would you usually get, you think? The E?
It's what I would do, yeah. But they have a Legionnaire, so maybe that's the kind of point that he's not going to rotate into the woods that early on.
Yeah. Interesting. God, look at the jungle, by the way. We really are seeing this change, man. 410 gold per minute Legionnaire already at 5.5 minutes. Even Tempest, though, 350 GPM. I mean, he's also doing pretty damn good here. I gotta say, I honestly didn't realize it was going to be this big of a buff, but holy crap. They're
yeah.
farming well.
I think, yeah, I kind of expected it because we saw that earlier when they released the new Wild Soul and Hellbringer. And it was kind of bugged that they actually didn't block the camps. And then you were able to see how much people skyrocket in the woods. So, yeah, they decided to do it again though. And, yeah, we're just going to see how the balancing goes around that, really, I think.
Yeah, here we are. Our first tournament match here officially since the patch has come out, and I mean, it's pretty ridiculous how many changes we're already seeing come into play. And I gotta say, you know, in the past when patches happen and a tournament continues on, and it feels like we don't see the significant changes off the bat. It takes a little bit of time, but man, they are just right off the bat here playing with these changes. Now middle lane in the meantime, Deadwood actually getting pulled in right here. This time it should be a kill. And indeed it will be. Bloodlust kill for the Legion side. Meanwhile, bottom lane, though, Oogie's in trouble. Shatterstorm connects. One more auto attack. It is going to be enough. You do see Loso with the tower damage. Oh, the nice power supply at the last second to stay alive right there. But it's not over just yet. Here comes Prisoner. He's looking for at least 1 kill, if not 2. The hook. Oh, he hooked the wrong area. Tempest, he couldn't get there in time. And Lodestone actually manages to escape. They lose near, but I think they're just fine with that.
Yeah, it was a good trade for the Hellborn team, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just unfortunate angle on the hook. If you would have guessed it right, that would have been a huge play.
Meanwhile, though, Bushwhack, because Magnus roaming around, able to push that top tower. So, you mentioned, you know, they do have a Legionnaire who's taking obviously all the jungle right here. Do you still think Bushwhack should go for something like that Thunderclaw?
Yeah. Yeah, he's actually going for it as well. Yeah. I think it's just a core item on him in order to increase your GPM.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's the right decision. So they also changed the cost on Thunderclaw.
That's true.
They increased it 200 gold. And whenever I play it, I completely miss up with that.
Forget about that, and it's like, oh, that's right. It's 200 gold more now. Yeah, that's that was again one of the many changes that happened, but still warrants the pickup as you're getting at. So gonna see it here. It looks like Deadwood. No, he's gonna be fine. Magnus just roaming around right there, but not gonna do much more with that. What about Pearl, by the way? I mean, I'm more of a supporters player, again, I like this hero, but I gotta say I'm a little curious about the skill build that he's doing here. He's actually maxing out the Whirl Bubble first. What do you think of that?
I think they took away some damage of the Q, so maybe that's what he's thinking, that he want to maximize his damage in the early game. Because the Whirl Bubble nearly deals 290 damage, and I think the Q only deals 200 damage now.
That's true. What about the E though, man? Soothing Presence. It's basically an Astrolabe at level 4. It's stronger than an Astrolabe. At level 4, in fact. I think if you're going to be leveling up the W, maybe you just might as well level up the E instead, and just for the heal support purpose, rather than the
Yeah,
D.
I completely agree to them. I think they have enough damage with the Oogie Prisoner and Magnus. So yeah, I would definitely like to see him mix the heal here instead.
Meanwhile, Legionnaire has his portal key and uses it right there at the top lane for the kill. So basically a 9-minute portal key with Striders and Bottle here for Tankafed. And now, is Complexity, do you think Complexity is a little bit to blame there? I mean, I guess they really couldn't have done much, but maybe should they have tried to harass Legionnaire a little bit more, or did they kind of have to accept that?
I don't think they could have done much. I mean, they were kind of busy shutting down the Deadwood, which they did successfully. And yeah, just creating enough space for really the Prisoner and Oogie to freeform. So yeah, not a whole lot they could have done about the Legionnaire.
Yeah. Now they're going to have to just deal with that here, as again he has the portal key and continuing to move around. What kind of follow-up would you like to see on the Legionnaire? Portal keys, you know, pretty given, but what kind of item follow-up do you think makes sense here?
He definitely needs a BKB against Oogie. I personally liked Incendiaries a lot when you snowball early on or get a lot of form, because it does so much in a game, especially here when they have like a Tempest, a Pearl, and a Magnus that you can fairly easy kill on your own. So yeah, definitely those two items I would prefer to see on him.
Yeah. We'll see what Tankafed decides to follow up with. We mentioned the Thunderclaw and Bushwhack. He does have that now. Bottom lane Oogie, by the way. He's in some trouble right here. And I got to say, Formless not usually struggling on an Oogie, but this game he's not doing the greatest, and he's going to fall once again. Clearly the movement here of the Hellborn side is causing some issues. And, you know, this kind of does go back to that Pearl leaving the bottom lane and Lodestone able to, I think, harass a lot more, farm a lot better. So that what you're talking about earlier, Square, it seems like it is coming back to haunt this Legion team a little bit with leaving the bottom lane for Oogie.
Yeah, it was really just not a good decision. Nice Tempest catch here. Yeah, really nice kill.
That's good at least, but I mean, they're going to have to recover now, because Formless is only 280 gold per minute. He's not doing too well here, but with that, I mean, do you still think that they can recover just fine? I mean, what is that? What are they going to need to do here, you think?
I feel like yeah, really nice hook there. So I think they really need to take those fights. I mean, they have the team fight lineup compared to the gank heavy, farm heavy lineup on the Hellborn team. And I don't see Oogie recover too well. And he's never going to catch up with the pushback again if they don't win many fights.
Yeah. Bottom lane, big fight coming out right here. Prison Break going to be used right there. Deadwood with the Falcon Punch on a Tempest. It is going to be enough for the kill. As Deadwood, you know, there's that strength still coming a little bit into play right there too. So able to tank it up after the ulti use and thus easily survives what could have been a turnaround possibly coming out. But in the end, Tempest gets taken out. Again, Tempest was nearing that 400 gold per minute mark himself up until that death, but still about 365. So again, those jungle changes definitely coming into play. But man, look at Bushwhack now. He's nearly 500 gold per minute all of a sudden when he gets that Thunderclaw. That is absurd.
Yeah, they really did a good timing with the Legionnaire. Once he got his peak, he got really active and left Bushwhack to farm the woods. And yeah, now he's on 500 GPM. Legionnaire is still close to 400 GPM, so yeah.
You see that portal key purchase on Prisoner, of course, at 13 minutes here, so at least Fuzzy Sloth, he's had a lot of success here on Prisoner lately. We mentioned that throughout the group stages we saw quite a bit. And doing that here once again, but a lot of dying on the Hellborn side is Legionnaire, 5.6, and oh, they're the number 1 and 2 in deaths per game. Interesting. Legionnaire and Andromeda. Those are two interesting. I mean, Andromeda, I guess, kind of makes a little sense with the swap, but Legionnaire, maybe he goes a little too much YOLO at times.
Yeah, must be it. Yeah, both are pretty much all-in heroes. Yeah, I mean, you go in, you don't have any way to get out anymore. Unlike something like a Lodestone, who, by the way, picked up his PK as well now.
Uh-oh. That's a suicide Lodestone, too. Get this portal key that quickly. Top lane, we're going to have a clash, though. Here we go. Velderot, you see Prisoner, he's got the ultimate. It's just Andromeda, though, showing, so they don't want to necessarily go all out, but they're going to here. Okay. I mean, that's definitely bait that they were looking for. Now, Legionnaire with response does get hooked. Wait, here comes Ulta. That's going to be a big shadow storm, though. Bushwhack joins the party. Here we go. Preservation comes out. It did not save Tempest, though. You do see the prison break. It is successful, however. Magnus stuns back in, and Oogie, it is going to be enough. Oh, my God, Complexity. They come out on top of the fight in the end. Wow, that actually worked out very well for them. I got to say, I did not see that coming with the way that started.
Yeah, that was a beautiful Magnus stun. And this is exactly what the Legion team needs. It's kind of questionable for the Hellborn team. I mean, they have the Bushwhack that's forming really well, same with the Legionnaire. And they're just taking those fights against the really team fight-oriented lineup on Legion team. It's really questionable.
And obviously very successful for Complexity. Well, Formless, we're talking about him, and he's been struggling a little bit, not so much anymore. In fact, Bushwhack, he gets caught here. Oh my God, the hook was just out of range. That's big. He hits that hook, that's a dead Bushwhack, but instead Magnus dies. And now Prisoner just going to have to run away. As Lodestone, though, he goes in. Nice job with the rocket drill there. In comes a Poison Dart for the slow and the damage. The Legionnaire, the taunt, and the Decapitate to finish it all off. So the missed hook ended up with the final result of both Magnus and Prisoner dead, and it could be worse. In fact, Oogie, he's now trying to run away. He has Primal, so he's going to use it right there. Element of Void comes out. That's a very defensive Element of Void, just simply trying to save Oogie. It will do that. He actually kills Andromeda in the end, too, but he goes down shortly after. So obviously the big picture here, Evil Corporation feeling pretty good. In fact, Pearl, what was she thinking? Oh, boy, that was not the smartest decision. Magnus, however, he rushes in. It is just action, 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 man. Here in the middle lane. And the secondary bottom tower happens to go down as well amongst all of it. What is going on in this game, Scurry?
Yeah, Complexity just deciding to go in one by one, while Reason or Evil Corporation is really just playing it more as a team right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just really huge throws from Complexity. But Oogie finished the icon, so they're gonna look to take a fight again with Pika and Magnus, and yeah.
I mean, overall, Golden in experience in general was also slightly buffed here. That's something else to keep in mind with this balance patch. And this part of me almost feels, I feel like we are feeling that here to an extent too, you know, with seeing the GPM charts especially. But I guess at the same time, Bushwhack is the one that's just really excelled here as far as being really far on top, 550 gold per minute. It looks like he's getting that Shrunken Head next, which of course is a solid pickup choice for him against this Oogie especially, so probably I think it's safe to say the right choice here. You think the Shrunken Head is pretty mandatory?
Yeah, he definitely needs it here. And yeah, but I also think he needs a lot of damage this game. Like, he needs to go for those kind of greedy damage items, like even the Savage Mace. Because, yeah, looking at the Legion team, they're really tanky and have even the Pearl on top of them. So yeah, maybe looking to finish the BKB as fast as possible and then getting some more, damage item.
Yeah. Deadwood just got his portal key, by the way. I mean, it's not too bad timing with that. It's 18 minutes. In fact, Falcon Punch on a Prisoner right there, or more appropriately, Willowmaker on a Prisoner, and an easy kill onto him. So nice assistance there, and he happens to deny the middle tower on top of that, but making use of the portal key right away right there. That's more good news for Evil Corporation on the Hellborn side. Soul's Bulwark is coming up on Legionnaire as well. Going to be finishing that here. God, they have 3 portal keys. They got Bushwhack, who's pretty mobile himself, of course. And then you throw Andromeda on there for the backup with the swap, if anything. So this is a very aggressive makeup team here. It's turning out to be, at least, for this Hellborn side.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really all in for those pickoffs and ganks. We see Deadwood using a Rot again on mid. And yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see that they actually make their lineup work as well. I mean, they're getting those pickoffs, and Complexity not deciding to really group up yet and force the issue. So yeah, I'm really leaving just Reason Gaming the space. Oh, sorry, Evil Corporation the space to get those ganks off.
I mean, when do you think the Legion team should? Because they just got the icon on Oogie, has another 2,000 gold. Do they need maybe like a Portakey or even a Shrunken choice on temp? Like, is there an item that you think they're obviously waiting for, or is they're just farming because they want to?
Well, I think right now they definitely need another item as Bushback finished BKB. But I think they should have really pressured it before Bushback was able to get to BKB. I mean, they won the last fight as top lane.
Yeah,
Oogie.
this is big. Oogie, he's in trouble. Magnus stunts in. The eruption go out. Can they get the counter turn kill? The primal surge is up. Is it going to be enough? It gets enough for Deadwood, but it's not enough for Rainbow Boys. There's that Shrunken Head coming into play, right as you mention it. Sure enough, negates the eruption from Magnus and allows him to stand his ground. He is going to TP out. Andromeda, not the same story. Is actually going to be picked off, but they got Oogie, and they also are going to push the bottom tower on top of that. So, again, I think big picture, Evo Corporation could be pretty happy with that. Pleased overall.
Yeah, I feel like Complexity is just missing those timings they really needed to go for. And, yeah, Oogie unfortunately being in a bad position there. Deadwood obviously really good hero against the Oogie.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, it does seem like he, not only with the ultimate, but just the decent lockdown he generally has. Obviously, burst in general very good against Oogie. When did they pick up Debo? Was that their final pick? I'm blanking. No, Legionnaire was our final pick, I think. I was so caught up in stuff we were seeing, I forget when it was actually picked up. No, Deadwood was the second pick. That's right. So they picked up Oogie in it. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't be picking up Oogie into Devil, but at the same time, as you're pointing out right there, he is pretty good. Like, was Oogie the best choice, you think, here, or is that maybe a little bit of an issue here?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Like, Oogie, kind of not really the hero you want to pick into a Deadwood. So, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, Oogie is the kind of hero you can stack a lot of armor items on, as he's doing it already with the Frost Field, and it's probably going to be in Gnomes later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but it's still not a go-to hero you want to counter or something a Deadwood with.
Yeah.
It's more unfortunate, really, for him, I think.
Uh-oh, here we go again. The quick response, but a quick response as well from Losa. Elemental Void, the Shadow Storm goes up, but they all get caught. That is huge, right on top of one another. Isn't enough for the kills. The preservation coming out, and it is absolutely the 3-for-0 exchange. It was bait all along, and obviously it worked out plentiful for Complexity right there. That was a matter of everything coming together. I mean, granted, Bushwhack was not there. That helped too. So I'll push in the top lane. But a good fight for Complexity.
Yeah, beautiful ulti by what you got, and yeah, I mean that's the thing with the kind of ganking lineup. They always want to gank and make the pressure, so it's really easy to bait them if they don't pick up on it. Mm-hmm. And yeah,
we've been seeing a lot of bait plays this game, that's for sure. Seems like every fight that's taken place essentially has been that.
Yeah.
Team trying to bait out the other, so it's worked out pretty well. We do see the Portakey obviously on Tempest coming to play that fight, so that's something else worth noting. Love, he actually did end up maxing out the Soothing Presence next, so he does have that maxed out currently. And it looks like he might even be building an Astrolabe. So again, that's going to be, it's 225 from the E and then another 200. So you're looking at 425 damage that he heals up straight out for him and his team, as long as they're within the radius. So, I mean, that's a lot of heal, man. Negates the burst.
Yeah, I mean, Tempest already has their Astrolabe, so...
Oh, you're right,
And he rushed it really early, and that's kind of another thing to note. I mean, that is so strong for team fights. I mean, as you said, that's like 400-something damage that you just heal, and early on, that's obviously way bigger than, really late. So, yeah, it's another thing, having that great of a tool and not, forcing those team fights, if you go all in with your items on team fighting.
We got Pearl pretty deep right here. So, yeah, that's a good point about the Astrolabe already on Tempest. I wonder if, I guess he just wanted to bulk up a little bit right here with the Bracer. It doesn't turn into anything else, so. But I guess he's a little more surviving now because he has it. Frostfield play is finished on Oogie, mentioning that earlier. That and Yeah, he usually actually likes to get Gnome's Wisdom first, I'm pretty sure, even. But he, I guess, was falling behind a little bit earlier on in this game, so decided to get the Icon eventually, and may still eventually get the Gnomes, of course. But just going to come a little bit later on here for himself. That'll be a good pickup, though. What did Bushwhack? Oh, the Geometer's Bane. There you go. What do you think of Geos?
No, definitely a good item. It's like the best item you can get against Prisoner. It just dispels all Prisoner spells, his ulti and his shackle. And yeah, it's just really a strong item. And also removes the Tempest stun. So yeah, solid choice there.
I will say the illusions may die pretty quickly at the same time, especially with an Oogie. And Magnus, it's stunning an eruption, but yeah, for the purpose of destroying, for the purpose of removing buff or debuffs even, yeah, it's definitely a powerful tool here for Bushwhack coming out. So Deadwood, he's hunting some more. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna say may have found somebody, but Magnus quickly portal keys away to safety right there. So yeah, Legionary, he slowed down a lot. I mean, this is a Legionnaire that was 400 plus very early in the game as far as GPM goes. He got a very early portal key. Used it off the bat. He's slowing down. It's 335 GPM now. Does that have to do with, you think, but Bushwhack maybe taking more farm across the map, and is that the smartest choice for them?
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that he is still on 330 GPM. I mean, that is not bad considering that you have a 600 GPM Bushwhack in your team. And yeah, I mean, Imbaboy, he's just farming incredibly well, and he's, as you can see, like the whole jungle is already empty at like 40 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really just the Bushwhack taking a lot of space. But I think that's also exactly what they need. I mean, they need the Bushwhack to go really ham and be the one that's pretty much 1v5 the Legion team later on.
That is the idea, and right now he's set up in a position to obviously be able to do that. Now, with that said, Oogie does continue to rise and rise. Again, we mentioned the Frostfield played fantastic to have against this Hellborn team. I mean, Legionnaire, Deadwood, you got Bushwhack himself, of course, a lot of physical damage. So the armor, you mentioned that earlier, is important to have here on the Legion side. They got the Sackstone on Tempest. They got the Soul's Bulwark on Prisoners. So, yeah, the team buffs are definitely real here amongst the Legion team, which is good to see because they needed that.
Yeah, definitely. But, yeah, I don't know. It comes back to my point that they should have been fighting way earlier on. I mean, they had all those items, like, really early on. They had the Souls really quickly, the Astrolabe, the Sackstone. And yeah, I would really like to see them force like a Congor fight, because that's like the perfect position for a Magnus and a Prisoner, even a Tempest to fight.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I was actually just wondering about that too. 27.5 minutes in here, it's just been a pretty heavily action-packed game for the most part, and no Congor attempt, just yet. You do see, look at the Legion team with their wards around it. They're making sure, but meanwhile, their bottom secondary is being pushed as they're going middle lane here, but they're going to TP back as Complexity. Try to pick a fight. The Illusion's left behind. Nice deny from Oscar right there, so well played. Yeah, something else I've noticed about this Prisoner, by the way, he actually does have a double damage rune now. But this skin, in the past, he's looked like he's had double damage a lot, but they actually did change it this last patch, it looks like, as well, to where the skin no longer, like when it wears off right here, I think it's red now instead of blue. So, yeah, it doesn't look like he has a DD anymore, which is good. It's good to see, because, yeah, that was frustrating, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
For players.
It looks different.
Yeah. So, but worth noting there. Formless, by the way, so he's not finishing a Gnomes. Instead, he's now just going to be going into that Sheepstick here. I guess feels it's pretty necessary against the Bushwhack.
Yeah. I mean, he probably thinks that he has enough lockdown within the Magnus Prisoner, so he doesn't need the extra heal. He thinks his ulti is enough. And yeah, if they execute those fights properly, then I think that's the correct decision.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Pearl is again. You got to be certain that you're going to burst her down from the beginning, or else something like that can happen. Definitely reminds me of something like a Master of Arms and Ophelia, where you think you got a kill, then all of a sudden the heals and the absorbs start kicking in, and then the turn happens. So that's basically what happened right there. Meanwhile, Legionnaire's caught by Oogie. All of a sudden, 2 players dead on the Hellborn side. Neither of them, well, I guess Deadwood can buy back, but this is an opportunity for Complexity now.
That's a Kong, for sure. I mean, I don't see Deadwood, but yeah, he's up anyways. But yeah, they have 50 seconds. They should easily take this Kong. I feel like Bushwhack should be top lane right now, getting the tower, because the one is kind of free. But yeah.
I mean, Bushwhack, yeah, he's really far behind. I guess he's just simply scared. They don't have vision of Congor. And again, you can't scout anymore with the courier. So that's no doubt something that definitely is they're feeling here. Guarantee you, prior patch, they'd be using the courier right now, if anything, to make sure to see if Congor's happening. But it's something that they're going to have to adjust to, obviously. And they were not aware. It seemed like even Bushwhack was playing it very safe for the most part. And in the end, Congor happens, and Complexity falls back. But it goes back to the prior kills, though, obviously, both on Deadwood and then the follow-up on Legionnaire. Open up the way for that Congor.
Yeah.
Complexity is going to be in a great spot coming up here. I mean, the token, the sheepstick is going to be done here in the near future, and you figure that that's the time now where they really need to push into the base and make a play here.
Yeah. I mean, reason Evil Corporation is probably only going to look to defend the base now. And, well, there's one outer tower on top lane of the Hellborn team. Mm-hmm. But, yeah. I mean, what the Legion team has to do now is get, like, a pick-off on one of the heroes and then try to take a fight. I mean, the Bushwhack is just going to counter or split push all the time. So you can't really go straight into the base, because I don't think the Hellborn team is going to take that fight. They're just going to try to split push.
So if you were Imbaboy here, if you were playing Bushwhack instead right now, and what would you be telling your team to be doing here for the Hellborn side? Because so we know what Complexity maybe needs to do, but what would you do for Evil Corporation here? If you're looking to make happen.
Not to die. That's all they need to do. Okay. If they don't get picked off now, then they just defend base. And they can easily defend base. They have a Lodestone and a Deadwood. Yeah. And the Wingbow now on Imbaboy. So all they need to do is not get picked off and take a safe fight. Don't, yeah. Exactly. And go back into your base and let them, like,
Wow, they're trying to pick a fight. At least Legionnaire is. Is that the best choice, though? We do see a quick kill on a Pearl, actually. She could not get her bubble off, so that could be the difference maker. Look at Magnus, the damage that he takes off the bat, too. This is a pretty scattered fight. Element of what is going to happen, though. He gets a good duration off right here. Andromeda's caught. Bushwhack in the midst of it as well. Eruption going off, and whoa, the damage is real. Bushwhack was able to get out the last second. The Trinket is now down, but she's using that Wingbow to her advantage with the range. However, Prisoner gets the prison break off. Oogie's chasing as well. The Primal Surge shields are real, and it's a genocide for Complexity when it's all said and done. So, yeah, picking a fight right there and not maybe the best choice for Evil Corporation, and that's exactly why. And they didn't even use the token.
Yeah. That was really questionable jump by Legionnaire. I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, it was obvious that Complexity is going to push the base on that one. They could have easily used the uphill advantage and the tower to use in that fight.
Mm-hmm. Interesting there from Quincy. He's pointing out, I didn't even realize, but the Nullstone pickup on Tempest. Hey, not an often pickup at all. I've only been seen 6 games before, but seen here. You think Nullstone, I mean, what's, I guess the swap, it does stop that, and Shrunken Head wouldn't, so maybe that's the logic there. Makes sense.
Yeah, it also stops the tree throw from Deadwood.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
But he also could have went for the Void. I think Void would have been really good here, because then both of those spells are negated as well.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because the swap is physical, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
huh. Wow, yeah, looking at it, it seems like the Void Talisman actually just would have been outright the better choice and a lot cheaper. That's a good point. Um, but yeah, he chose not to get it. Yeah, if he had Void Talisman, I'm like looking at it too. And I mean, yes, like a Comet Stun could still stop him, like Lodestone obviously could. But yeah, it could still stop him now with a Null Stone. I guess the Comet couldn't, but anyways. Interesting point. Yeah, you just never see like a Void Talisman Tempest, but this is definitely one of the games for it, if any, so.
Yeah, definitely really strong against Andro. I mean, it's kind of when you have Andro, you are kind of secure that it's the Tempest ult is going to get erupted if he's positioned right, but with the... Yeah, Tempest plus Void, 66% win. Makes a lot of sense.
It does. All right, top lane, though. Here we go. Complexity. Now's the time, they say. Oogie, it's... Okay, the token's about to wear off. It only has 10 seconds left on it, so they can't really push the basin right here. And, yeah, we see that. So they figured they would just take a little bit, get ECX to respond and come back, and then they fall back. There were a couple buybacks, of course. Both Lodestone and Bree and Deadwood did buyback, so worth stressing there. As Magnus is caught, by the way. And Steambath, however, he's going to stun out. He's going to try to make the getaway. Porky's up. He's good. Wow, doing a lot right there. And he got even a shrunken head out of Legionnaire on top of it, so good getaway. What do you make of the Wingbow on Imboboy, by the way? It seems like a funky item against an Oogie, but at the same time, it does give him the 100 range and a lot of damage, so I get that. But what do you think?
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense against the Legion team, especially against like a Oogie. But then again, you have the Pearl. So that's kind of... I mean, the Pearl is kind of a counter to the sort of Wingbow on range 0. I mean, the extra range you get is kind of useless if you have to get close into the bubble. I mean, that's obviously a clutch play you have to pull out from Love here. But still something you shouldn't forget. So I think he really should have went for like a more greedy item, like the Savage, or even like a Rift Shorts.
Middle lane, though. Gonna try to use something right here. Magnus does get picked off the bat once again. Oogie though in the background, sitting on top of Bushwhack. Look at the damage. Deadwood goes down, and Oogie's still chasing as Bushwhack now trying to stride away right here. Not gonna happen. He gets pulled back in with the Elemental Void. There's the pull as well from Prisoner, and it's another wipeout from Complexity. Lowstone with his second and final buyback, but a quad kill for Formless. Oh, he didn't buy back, actually. Never mind. Things did live, I guess. But, man, that was another huge buy for Complexity. Started with the jump initially, and I think that was actually, they jumped Lowstone, if I'm not mistaken, who ended up surviving in the end. But that's their team fight's just too strong. I mean, that's clear, as we're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't see why the Hellborn team is trying really to force fights outside the base, especially with no buyback up on Imboboy. And
oh wow,
he did buyback now.
Just
barely
barely.
got the money.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. It's a strong team fight, but it's Evil Corporation has been making wrong decisions. Frankly, they've been jumping in. I mean, that time that wasn't necessarily them picking the fight, to be fair, but the previous one definitely was. So Oogie, by the way, nice Storm Spirit to save him initially, and here comes the turn once again. Although Oogie's dropping right here, he may actually fall. He will, in fact. So Bushwhack again, if he's able to start right-clicking turreting here, he does do some pretty good damage, as we see. And eventually is going to set up even another kill on Tempest. So they will hold, again, more buybacks, including Imboboy using one of his. I guess that was the only one there, but the middle still was lost. The bottom melee rack's getting pretty low. Not many more opportunities, you feel like, for the Hellborn side here.
Yeah. The problem with Bushwhack is that he dealt a lot of damage on Oogie there, but that was only because of the Lodestone ulti. In the previous fight in mid, you saw Bushwhack dealing literally no damage to the Oogie. And yeah, so they really need the Deadwood and Lodestone to just be on top of the Oogie. But it's not going to be easy with a Pearl and Tempest behind him.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I feel like that's something it's hard to witness as a spectator too. But Pearl, with that soothing presence, obviously the preservation that happens throughout the fight too makes it difficult. The World Bubble pushback as Bushwhack gets pulled in. This is a big jump now. Prison Break is going to be just running over there with the Geometer's Bane, and he turns for a couple more kills. In fact, so look at this counter push from Evo Corporation. Actually, I mean, the no buyback actually on Formless is definitely proven to be an issue. As a pull-in from Prisoner coming out right there, but that's going to be a Rax. So all of a sudden, I think at Bushwhack, though, this is big. He's kind of has to stand his ground, and he's going to end up, well, no, he will die. The swap was too late. So, okay, they got the Rax, but again, Bushwhack does die in the end. Still in a tough spot here. But a little bit of fight here from Evo Corporation.
Definitely, but I think they should have just... I don't know if the Rex is worth it. I mean, Legion team is just going to force second buyback of Imba now. They're just going to go bottom and, yeah, force the buyback. And even Congor should be up soon. So, if they manage to take a proper fight now with the Tempest ulti being up as well, they could really end the game here.
Yeah, this play right here definitely has final possible push written all over it. Coming out from the Legion team, but actually Oogie's kind of far up by himself. However, he's going to be fine, though, as he starts falling back. He did get the Frostwolf Skull right before the time he died as they were pushing, so that's actually why he didn't have enough money for a buyback, actually. So maybe a little bit of a misplay there from Formless, bought it as they were just pushing in, and ended up getting caught without it even on him. So, but he has it now. Not really the biggest deal in the end in that sense. And back to Congor they go. To look to clear him out. So once again, the Hellborn team, no vision in the Congor pit currently. They are having to deal with blindly going in now. Trying to make a play, which is not easy.
I don't think there's any way they can fight this, but
well,
okay.
I mean, they kind of try as Andromeda gets caught off the bat. Meanwhile, Shatterstorm going to be thrown in the air with the Storm Spirit, though. Here comes the Elemental Void. It catches one at least. Got Deadwood, but again, they didn't even really need it, and they were going to win that anyways, it felt like. The Pearl ulti as well definitely once again made a big play. And here comes the push into the bit. Did they even kill No, Congor's still well alive, but they don't even need it. They're going to go into the base here. Force the final buyback, and it would just be Bushwhack. It would be just Bushwhack and Legionnaire here, so I think that may actually be game there.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait it out, and he's going to buy back for the top. No? Okay. Yeah, they call it. Yeah.
Well, final thoughts here on this game. I mean, definitely Evo Corporation, they maybe picked some fights that they shouldn't have, and Complexity just clearly was the stronger fighting team there throughout. That's the game picked up by Square. Yeah, what were your final thoughts there?
It's just, Legion team in the start not doing what they were supposed to do, but executed it well in the